Trisha, did you know October is Family History Month?
I think I realized that last year in October.
I knew nothing about it.
I mean, it's not as popular as Black History Month, but it is getting popular year by year.
How long has it been a month? Seems like there's a month for everything.
There is a month for everything. Yeah. You're absolutely right. It was presented to Congress by a Utah senator in 2001 to be made a month, which I guess I forgot that it actually has to be like a law or whatever. So it was introduced. Of course, it was a Utah senator.
Was it Mitt Romney?
No, it was Senator Hatch.
Oh, Orrin Hatch.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Well, I thought it would be good for us to talk about it today.
I mean, it's October.
I'm sure there's some people out there who didn't even know that it was a
because it's relatively new, 2001.
Yeah. I think this would be a good opportunity to talk to people who don't necessarily research their family history, but are still kind of interested in family history.
Agreed.
If that makes sense.
Yes. And for the listeners that are family historians, we can give them some ideas on how to get their family that's not interested.
Yeah.
Maybe some ideas on what they can do.
Or even those people who research and that's all they do is library, research, computer, to do other things that can contribute to family history.
Yes, family history is huge and it has a lot of different entities.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we get started? Let's do this. Everybody, welcome to the Journey Through the Generations podcast. What is up?
How's everybody doing? It seems like this year is just rolling along.
It is going by really, really fast, and it seems like the older you get, the faster it goes.
It's hard to believe it's already October.
Yeah, for real. So, like we mentioned at the beginning, it is Family History Month. And we kind of wanted to talk about some things that researchers can do and folks who are not really quite interested in really researching their family history, but think it's important to still do something.
Right. Because if you think about it, most of the time when you think of family history, the first thing you think of, I know when I first started, was going to the library, looking at microfilm, reading books, looking at maps. And let's just be honest, that's not exciting to everyone. I mean, it relaxes me, but some people are not interested in, looking at microfilm.
Yeah, they think about the genealogy part, right? Is family trees, it's DNA,
descendants,
it's all that stuff, and yeah, like you said, people might not be interested as much as we want them to be. I mean, people just aren't.
Yeah. But the thing about family history is that there's so many other things that you can do that you can learn about your family and your community that you don't have to go to a library for.
That's right. And so I think what we'll do today is go through a couple of things. This is obviously not all inclusive. We can't possibly include everything that you can do, but this is just a few things that we thought of that might be helpful for you people who don't necessarily want to be involved in the family research, books, library stuff, but still want to contribute or help someone.
Yeah.
And then for people who are researchers, remind them that, hey, it's more than just library research and stuff. So I think we'll go through that list, and Trisha, I'll let you start going through it, unless you have something else to add.
No, that's all I had to add.
All right, cool.
The first thing on my list is gather family recipes, because, one thing that we always say is that food is just as much a part of our family as our actual relatives. So, if you have those family recipes, those things that that you when you used to go home and you asked your parents to cook for you, or your grandmother made the best pound cake ever. Those family recipes, though, you can get those together and get those written down and, pass those down through the generations as well, not just your history of your family.
Yeah, I mean, that's history too.
Right.
Because a lot of those recipes are passed down from, parents and great-grandparents and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So, my mom cooks like crazy.
Yeah, she does. She's an excellent cook.
But she's one of those people, she knows in her head what she wants to do. But she also has a huge, big book of recipes of her own stuff that she has written down. Mm-hmm. And so, out of my, brother and sister, there's only one person who's going to get that book. And that's going to be me, because I'm the only one that cooks.
Well,
my sister cooks, but I'll probably cook more than she does.
Okay, it's not a competition.
Oh, it's not? No,
we can make plenty of copies.
Oh, okay.
To go around.
But yeah, I think that's important. I know there's a lot of people, moms or dads who have, those recipes. And even I have somewhere a book of recipes that I grill, a lot. Mm-hmm. So I have some recipes for sauces and rubs and things like that, I would want to pass down to Wesley, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if there's always a McDonald's, he's going to eat.
He's going to go to Chick-fil-A. But yes. So, food equals memories. I mean, because sure. I can think of a certain food, and I can come up with a memory that is so vivid, even though it was 30 years ago. So recipes are important.
Yeah, my whole life is full of that. And I mean, I can go all the way back, as far as I can remember, and talk about different family functions, having recipes, church functions. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, I think that's the thing, you can get those recipes. Yeah. Cool. What's next?
Next I have photos. You can go through photos with your family historian and actually help identify the people in them, or the time period, if it was in the 70s, or if it was in the 80s, or if it was in this particular city, or if it was a special event, it was somebody's wedding. And you can identify information on the back for the family historian, because the hope is that those pictures get passed down, just like, recipes, history, things like that. And the future generations are not going to know who those people are if they're not identified on the back of the photo.
Yeah, I think there's also a way for a person to get people who aren't involved in their family research involved by showing pictures.
That is the one thing that I've always done. Yes. That's very helpful.
I love showing pictures, and anytime I find, pictures from back in the day or when I was in college, I love going and getting Wesley and say, hey, come look at these pictures.
Yes.
This is, when we were doing this, and this is when me and mom met, and, stuff like that. So, and then that spurs the question in his mind, like, well, who is that?
Right.
Who is that?
What were y'all doing?
Yeah. And so that's when that stuff becomes important, and it starts kind of putting it into their minds.
Yeah, planting seeds. Mm-hmm. Those family history seeds.
Yep. And I would be remiss if I didn't take this time to get a little techie. A little bit. Get them photos digitized. Okay? I'm going to tell you why it's important. It's important because a lot of times the paper that photos are printed on, especially the old pictures, they deteriorate over time. Mm-hmm. And we've all seen old pictures that's all messed up, and then, God forbid, you never know if there's a fire or a flood. Florida just went through a hurricane.
Absolutely.
Protect your stuff and get all of your photos, documents, important family stuff digitized. You can do it yourself. There are companies that'll do it for you. Check with your local library. They may have a way to digitize files. Get that stuff on a flash drive or a hard drive or something, and back it up too.
Right.
Okay, I think I'm done with my tech PSA.
Well, thank you for that.
If you have any questions about that, Google it or reach out to us on Twitter at Gen Journey Blog. Okay, now I'm done.
And going along with that, you can also make a scrapbook or a shadow box, and present the pictures in a way that's they're out of a box, so people can actually see them and ask the question when they're at your house. Oh, that's a nice picture. Who is that? And that just starts the story right there.
Yeah, and it can be a nice gift for someone too. Say if you're a cousin or something and you have pictures from your parents, get all your photos and stuff and give them to the family researcher in the family so they can take care of them and be able to get them digitized or whatever they need to do. So I think that really helps.
I agree.
All right.
The next thing is possibly is dealing with cemeteries. So we've talked on the podcast before about Find a Grave, billionsgraves.com, websites like that. And you can actually sign up to be a contributor to those websites. And you can go to a local cemetery and take pictures and upload pictures, updated pictures of headstones to those websites for the world to be able to view.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to be, just this deep down family researcher in order to do it.
Right.
It can be anyone. And so even if you just go and do the pictures of your own family, and of course you can do other people in the cemetery, but if you just go do your own people,
right,
that helps. Plus it, gives you a chance to go and, pay respects to your family.
That is correct. Yeah. And I will say that cemeteries, I've never been a fan of cemeteries. Of course, I've gotten better over the years. But cemeteries is one of the ways that I was able to get my father involved in my research. We would go to the cemeteries and he would walk around with me to make sure that I knew where everyone in our family was buried. And now my brother does that. And I sent him the link to Find a Grave because he was looking for somebody. And I said, well, here, just look it up here. And then he said that he spent the next 2 hours just putting in names, looking at people's headstones to see, what their headstones look like and things like that. Yeah.
And then be on the lookout here real soon. We're going to have a podcast episode about how to clean headstones and what we have in our headstone cleaning kit. And then follow us on social media. We're going to take some pictures when we go and clean some headstones in our own families. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Yeah. The next thing on my list is to plan a family reunion. Now, I know that you can go way big and plan a big, huge 4-weekend gathering of everyone, during a holiday weekend or something like that. But it doesn't have to be big. You can, just get together the family members that that are in your town, and you can get together and have dinner or, a potluck or something and tell, everybody to bring, family pictures that you can scan or, bring your funeral programs that you can scan. And when I say if you get your, more than 5 people together going through pictures and funeral programs, that is like the best time ever.
Yeah, don't let the word reunion or family reunion scare you.
Right, gathering.
Yeah, I mean, because people think of family reunion and then it's like, oh, it has to be this big production. You got to order T-shirts. You got to do a banquet. You got to do a picnic. Who's going to get all the food? it doesn't have to be like that.
No.
You can do one day. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be a big, long 3-4 day event.
Right.
And so go and, do the family reunion, attend a family reunion. I just went to one. We haven't talked about that, have we?
No, we haven't.
I just went to one back in July for a new part of my family, and it was a fantastic time.
Oh, we had a ball
in Charleston, South Carolina. So, you should do that. I met a lot. Well, everybody I met was new to me, so I had never met any of these people before. So.
But yeah, it doesn't have to be a big production, and especially if you have quite a few family members that live close to you, maybe not in the same town, but close enough to where they're an hour away and they can come up for dinner or a lunch or something like that. And like I said, have them bring family photos or funeral programs or family heirlooms or past family reunion information. And that would just be good information, not only for you to have, but it's good to be with family.
For sure.
And you could have those recipes. I mean, I could go on and on about this, but you see where I'm going with this.
So what else we got?
Well, the last thing I have is more of a tech thing that I think about the younger generation doing, that you can maybe get them involved with. And that would be either creating a spreadsheet with relatives' birthdays and anniversaries, or you could go a step further and actually create a calendar with their birthdays and anniversaries on it.
Yeah. And my mom, going back to the mama, I guess I just never realized how organized my mama is.
That's good, though.
She has a book. It's like a telephone address book, and she has everybody's name, address, phone number. She has their birthdays, anniversaries. She has in that book. And when we need to contact somebody, when we have maybe a death in the family or something else, or maybe they had a death in their family, she goes right to that book and she's like, okay, here's the address, send a card or flowers or call them or whatever it is. So that's crazy.
Yeah. And then I thought about that because my nephew Patrick did a calendar, and he put
right. Sure did.
And that's kind of how he has gotten into family history. Because now he knows everybody's birthdays. And he has the next one he wants to put pictures with everybody. So he slowly but surely, those seeds are being planted.
And he did it without even knowing that.
Right.
He just did some family research.
Right. So
that's what's cool about it.
Exactly.
Especially for younger kids.
Yeah. So I just think that, family history is so much more than names and dates. It's about memories. It's about the experiences that you have with your family. Family history is not just about the past. It's about our present and our future, because we want future generations to know about our past. So there's so many different ways, and these are just a few ideas, but there's so many different ways that you can get involved in family history, and it doesn't require going to the library and looking at microfilm.
For sure. So like we said, these are just a few things that we came up with. It's definitely not all. So, if you want to help us come up with more things on the list, our social media information is down in the description box. You can tweet at us or please join our Facebook page. And all that information is below for you to contact us. So, all right, everybody, we appreciate you guys for listening to another episode. Please share the podcast with the family researchers in your life. We really appreciate your support.
Thanks, you guys. Enjoy Family History Month.
Yep. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.